Well, I suppose it was only a matter of time before we came across another bad one. But damn is this one bad! Today we're looking at the infamous Darkstalkers cartoon. For those of you not familiar with the video gaming arts, Darkstalkers, or Night Warriors, or Vampire, whichever you prefer, was a fighting game released by Capcom that hit arcades in 1994 and featured monsters and other bizarre creatures. The series was pretty short-lived, as I'm sure it didn't live up to the success of its counterpart Street Fighter. However, it was a pretty solid fighting game, and many of the characters still make appearances in other Capcom games, so at least we know Capcom still cares about them, unlike some of their other beloved characters, but let's not get into that. Then in the mid-90s, Capcom got a wild hair up its ass and made American cartoons based on their popular franchises like Mega Man, which was kinda silly as it turned the Blue Bomber into a wisecracking lead hero and Dr. Wily into a stereotypical cartoon villain. Then there was Street Fighter the Animated Series, which after skimming through might be a little bit better than I remember, though it still had its fair share of silly moments and hilarious out-of-context lines.
Fire! Everyone remain calm.
Quickly, to the elevator!
No! Elevators are too dangerous in a fire! Everyone to the roof!
It also gave us this.
Yes! Yes!
Then there's Darkstalkers. Barely a year after the first game came out, they attempted to turn this into something big. What could possibly go wrong? Just start it. So here's the gist of what this show calls a plot. Pyron, the boss of the games, comes to Earth in his clunky spaceship to form an army of Darkstalkers because... I don't know, he's bored, I guess. He uses his tractor beam to find the Darkstalkers, and the ones he gets become his minions, and the ones that get away are the good guys. And right away, this is all wrong. Unlike most fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, Darkstalkers didn't really have many alliances or stables. Each character had their own reasons for fighting. But since we've decided to turn this into a kids show, we gotta play by the rules. So it's like, hey you look scary. You're a fucking bad guy now. Let's just go with it or we'll never get through this. So all the famous characters are here. On the bad guy side we have Pyron the alien, Dimitri the vampire, Morrigan the succubus, who I can't believe they actually call a succubus, Anakaris the mummy, Bishamon the cursed swordsman, and my favorite character to play as, Lord Raptor!
Woo! Thank you, Australia!
Huh? Oh, great. Great. 30 years late for Woodstock.
Then there's the good guys, Riku the fishman, John Talbane the werewolf, Victor the Frankenstein monster, Sasquatch the Sasquatch, and of course, Felicia the cat girl. Okay, I'll give this show credit for one thing. It's nice to see a more modest version of Felicia for once. And FYI, patches of fur do not count as clothes. Why are you so fucked up, Japan? We meet some of the other characters too, but they're not really aligned with anyone. We'll call them the Rogue Darkstalkers. There's Donovan the Hunter and Amanda, whose real name is Anita, but the use of her American name in this is the least of our concerns. Huitzil the Mayan robot, yeah, just go with it. And Senko the ghost, who looks nothing like she does in the game! But again, little things like this are the least of our problems. Because there's one more character we need to talk about. Harry Grimm, a character who is exclusive to the American TV show, and here's where it all goes wrong. Harry is a kid who is a descendant of Merlin, so he has magical powers, and is apparently more powerful than anyone else in this show, because he's usually the one that saves the day. That's right, a kid named Harry who has magical powers, wears glasses, and is supposed to be the savior. Well, this is officially the worst thing I can associate with Harry Potter since that Troll movie. Seriously, look it up. God, I hate this kid. It's bad enough he's a blatant Mary Sue character, but everything that comes out of his mouth makes me want to punch him in the face.
And someone must take care of her, someone better suited than I am.
Look, I don't have time to look after a girl.
Harry, don't be selfish. You cannot fight evil if you turn your back on good.
Yes, you must learn that the path to power includes helping those who are innocent and helpless.
Well, now, if you two are finished reading fortune cookies, maybe we can get this show on the road.
I'd ask why the hell he's here, but I guess it'd be hard for kids to relate to a self-centered fish man. Besides, he seems to be the only main character that does anything. Who's gonna save us? Felicia? She's the most useless character of them all. Seriously, I don't think I've seen her win a single fight, which is baffling considering how ruthless and cheap she was in the game. God, fucking bitch. But this is supposed to be our main character? Out of all the badass characters in this series, we get the cat girl who's constantly getting her ass handed to her? Imagine if they were gonna make a new Justice League cartoon and promise every single DC hero would be in it, but it turned out the main character was Robin. And I don't mean badass Robin from Teen Titans or Young Justice, I mean Burt Ward. That's what this feels like. This is gonna be one of those shows that does nothing but piss me off, isn't it? Take the intro, for example. It's just a bunch of random clips from the show set to generic rock music while a narrator tries to sell this bullshit.
Chiron, intergalactic collector of planets, wants the Earth, and he's going to get it, even if he has to wake the undead. He summons Dimitri, Lord of the Vampires, to launch a reign of terror, to release a plague of monsters and bring humans to their knees. But other night warriors are on the prowl. Monstrous, awesome contenders with bizarre fighting powers. Immortal creatures locked in battle to decide the fate of the world. It's enough to make your blood run cold.
Yeah, real creative. As if that wasn't insulting enough, every episode is riddled with commercial breaks. Seriously, there's like 3 of them for a 20-minute episode. Is that enough? Don't you hate it when a show throws in too many commercial breaks?
Darkstalkers will return. And now, back to Darkstalkers.
So we've barely scratched the surface on how they've completely fucked some of these characters. I said before that Riku is narcissistic and obsessed with his looks, but apparently everyone else is obsessed with his looks too. And I mean everyone.
Look at the circles under my eyes. I am spending way too much time with these air breathers.
Oh, you're almost pretty.
For a fish man.
Even though you are curiously attractive for a scaly freak.
Though you are strangely attractive for a fish man.
For a fishman, you are strangely attractive. Even though you are curiously attractive for a fishman.
You are curiously attractive for a fishman.
So I've been told.
Why does everyone want to fuck the fish man? Then there's Victor, whose voice sounds kinda familiar.
I think I understand, Klaus. You do help, and you're very important. I couldn't keep the castle clean without you.
The role of Victor will be played by Arnold in the live-action movie. On second thought, I better not give them ideas. Then there's Sasquatch, who's referred to as Bigfoot in this show, who has an annoying nephew, Hairball.
I'm Hairball. You must be Harry. Good to meet ya. Hey, do you play baseball? I've never played baseball before. Is it fun? This is a really cool jacket. Do all humans wear jackets like this? I've never seen one before.
Okay, you know your show is fucked when you have a character that out-annoys the annoying lead character.
When are we gonna fight the Darkstalkers? Huh? I want to see some action. Don't you think this is so cool, Harry? Have you ever been on a spaceship before? I haven't. Is this what TV is like? I've never seen TV before. Does it get any other channels? Can he see me? Hi, Uncle Bigfoot. How are you? Here I am. Hey, there's some pretty neat stuff on this ship. There's a really cool button over here. You should see what it does when I push it.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! I will kill you and turn you into a rug! Shut up! It's not like the bad guys are any better either. If anything, they're worse. Okay, I'll admit, I'm not that familiar with the storyline of Darkstalkers, but I have to ask, is Anakaris supposed to be insane? Because all of his lines sound like the ramblings of a crazy person.
Anakaris, the Supreme Pharaoh has awakened! All hail the Imperial pudding! There are lizards in my pants!
Do you even remember what it was like before you lost your marbles, Anakaris?
Marbles? Marbles, garbles, yarble. Sparkly stones. By the light of the great god Rudamega, you are mine! May the hippopotamus of happiness belch in your bathtub.
May your royal nose putrefy and fall into your soup.
Most gracious, I'm sure.
Then there's Lord Raptor, who they made into a hack musician / actor, I guess. Also, he's voiced by Scott McNeil, who also voices some of the other characters. I've said before that I'm not that big a fan of Scott McNeil. Not that I don't like the guy or anything, it's just that sometimes I find his voice to be a little grating. However, him playing Lord Raptor is the best thing in this show.
Oh, Raptor, you daring young devil, how do you stay so bloody gorgeous?
Oh yeah, I forgot. He speaks almost entirely in song titles.
I think you're gonna be sad. You know, I think it's today. The life you used to live is going away. Don't do me like that. Sweet mystery of life, I think I found you. I got you, babe. I love rock and roll. Ah, do you really want to hurt me? I am the champion, my friend, and I will rock you. Well, another one bites the dust.
No!
In a New York minute! You've got no ticket to ride!
And I don't care.
It's all rock and roll to me.
I know it might be crazy, but hearing him in this wasteland of a show was nothing but a good time. It might be sympathy for the devil, but it's a bitter pill for this franchise that's fell on black days. And now for my message in a bottle to the creators of this monster of a show. Fuck you. But generally speaking, this has got to be one of the most dysfunctional group of bad guys I've ever seen. They're hardly ever seen on the ship. They're just usually out doing their own thing. Raptor's off working on his career or whatever. Bishamon ends up switching sides, and Anakaris does whatever this is.
And Ramses begat Horeb, and Horeb begat Abimelech, and Abimelech begat Rutabaga, and Rutabaga said... Hello, is this thing on? But seriously, folks, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, or kebab, or maybe a nice couscous, or a nectarine. Such a fruit, half a peach, half a plum.
I am so sorry. Dimitri and Morrigan are usually at each other's throats, no pun intended, and Pyron has to constantly set them straight.
Stop it, you fools! I didn't come a million miles to watch you two fight like spoiled children. Morrigan, he is your general.
Never!
And you, Dimitri, Morrigan is your second in command. Respect her. You will need each other.
As long as she remembers that I am in charge.
Ha!
I am in charge. Then you, then Morrigan.
Pecking order.
Then there's Pyron, probably one of the worst lead villains ever. Sure, he looks badass, but he's a joke. His plans are constantly foiled and his ship keeps breaking. Hell, his tractor beam got defeated by snowballs. How does that even work?
Yuck!
How dare they oppose me? Pitiful subhuman animal things!
We also meet his brother in the final episode, who's apparently stronger than he is. Isn't Pyron supposed to be supreme overlord of his world? You know, the final fucking boss of the game? Invader Zim would laugh at this asshole.
Pyron, you must return to the ship immediately.
I will not leave the ship again, ever. This planet is a lot of work. Ship, take me home.
I may have found a species even dumber than the humans.
Thankfully, this series was mercifully short. However, there's really not much to say about each episode. Then again, I don't know how much of a profound story you can write around things like Sasquatch fighting a Frankenstein monster. Most episodes consist of finding some artifact that won't really have any consequence in any future episodes. Someone fights, then Harry saves the day, the end. However, I have a feeling that this show went through a lot of rewrites and changes, because I noticed what I can only describe as remnants of what might have been a decent show. Stuff like Riku coping with being the last of his kind, John Talbane remembering when he was a human, and Senko seeking revenge for her family. Hell, there was a scene where they actually showed Dimitri killing someone! How the hell did they miss that? But it's all lost among what the show attempts at what I'll call comedy for the sake of simplicity. Some stupid wisecrack or bizarre imagery, and it's usually something little, but it completely destroys anything cool that might have happened. Like when Senko had her showdown with Dimitri to avenge her family. This should have been awesome, but it was brought to a screeching halt.
You deprived me of my parents, my sister, my childhood, and my life. Over 100 years of guilt for escaping you when they could not. I vow that you shall never harm anyone else ever again!
You dare!
That's a good look for you, Dimitri.
In one episode, they find the Horn of Jericho, and for some reason it sounds like this. Why would they put that stupid sound effect? It's the Horn of Jericho! It's supposed to be a powerful weapon. I think they should have made it sound like this. In another episode, all the good guys visit Victor's castle, and they all arrive in a taxi. Yeah, our heroes all just clown car themselves in a taxi. More importantly, who the hell is driving that thing? And why aren't they asking questions? Maybe it's BD Joe. Yeah, I know that was Sega, but you know, it's not like anything else in this show is accurate. Would have at least been funny. Then there's this.
We are live from Cairo, Egypt, where a 5,000-year-old pyramid is on the move. Is it the latest version of the mummy's curse, or does it merely mark the second coming of Elvis?
What? Like, what does Elvis have to do with any of this? Like, how did this happen? Were the creators of the show drunk or something? Well, they must have been, considering how many production errors there were, like bad lip dubbing.
Thank you, my friend. Me.
And that's not all. There's also generally bad animation, improperly layered animation cells, inconsistent backgrounds, unfinished backgrounds, stuff that even I don't know what the fuck was supposed to be going on. But probably most famous of all were blatant continuity errors. I'm gonna show you a clip, see if you can spot what's wrong.
And why do I have to study history and geography?
Because knowledge is power, and we need all the power we can get.
That was awesome! Can I learn that?
First, you gotta learn your history and geography.
I gotta find out where Timbuktu is.
Try Africa.
Whoa!
I think Timbuktu is farther south.
I didn't do anything. It's the ring.
Did you see that shit? Run it back one more time. Look, the background changes to a slightly different color between cuts. That's bad color correction. That's just unprofessional. I have never seen a show this completely fucked in my life. Just look at it. Look at it. Look at what you've done, Capcom. Everything about this is wrong. Right down to the DVD case. Yeah, great cover art, right? What was this, like 10 minutes in Photoshop? The standalone DVD looks way better, and I'm probably the only person on Earth that owns both of these. I expected better from you, ADV. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but this is worse than Hammerman. Yeah, that's right, it's worse than Hammerman. Because at least with Hammerman, you can kinda expect it to be bad. But Darkstalkers had potential to be at least decent. Instead, it just turned into a total mockery. Now, I should mention there's another Darkstalkers cartoon. A 4-episode anime OVA to be exact. And it's better, I suppose? Well, it's got better animation, and the characters at least look and act the way they should. However, the plot is a bit contrived, and most characters are barely in it. Most likely due to it only being 4 episodes long. However, if you absolutely need a Darkstalkers cartoon, I'd easily recommend this over the American cartoon any day. Are you talking about anime? Who said that? Over here, you boob. Anime snob? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be a throwaway April Fool's gag. Turns out the people really liked me. Clearly your audience is looking for a host with a more sophisticated taste in animation. Now, what was that you were saying about the Darkstalkers OVA? That I'd recommend it over the American cartoon? Yes, exactly. It's only a little bit better, it's still not very good. Nevertheless, any admittance by you that anime is the superior medium is a victory for me. This calls for a celebratory watching of my VHS copy of Garzy's Wing, the greatest anime ever. Would you care to join me? No thanks. I think I'm gonna go watch something that's a little more coherent and a lot more fun. I always have a copy in my jacket. It doesn't fit in the pocket, though. I can't believe I fucking have this. This sucks so bad. I watched it before Spoonie and Sage did. Because I have it on VHS.